Hello, thank you for coming. The image you see on the screen is the one and only Chuck Peddle. He died recently. He was, I believe, 82, and he is the reason many of us are here doing what we're doing, because the 6502 was indeed his baby. You really should go onto YouTube and search for him and listen to some of the stories of how they sold them out of a jar or a bin or a barrel or whatever for $25. They weren't allowed to sell in the show, so they had to get a hotel suite, and everybody took buses over there. It's funny because he said now nobody knew that like 80% of the 6502s in the bottom of the jar were no good, but they didn't get down that low. They had others. Anyway, it is sad when the Commodore community loses another great pioneer. Unfortunately, he didn't stay with Commodore as long as he might have. Well, because, Jack and he didn't get along. I never got to meet him. I wish I had. But from what I've seen online, he was, and always will be, a character. So, sad. Anyway, today, I need to copy some discs. Just a couple. So, I'm coming on in here. And I have in front of me a Commodore 64 and I hate when I almost misplace things. There's a couple of new discs. Here's the ones I need to copy. And somewhere here will be the empty envelope from this disc, which I believe is one of the holiday discs I was messing with. Alright. Discs, everywhere discs. And there's a big 20 manual, kind of bent. So, to copy a disc with a Commodore 64 and 2 drives, first I'm going to load the directory on one of them. And actually what I just did there is I poked 53280, 0 to make the screen black. And I'm going to do the same. There we are. That, I hope, should cut down on the glare there. So this is a rather early version of the test demo disc. I'm just looking for, well, yes, okay, there it is. The disk address change. Oh, what is going on here? Alright, I'm going to turn, most of them are on, and I'll take one of them. What's going on here? Let's try again. We'll load the directory. Did I do something wrong there? Load disk address change, -8. Okay. I had both drives on before, and it may have got a little confused. So right now I only have one drive on, the bottom drive, so it's going to be device. It's now device 8. Now it's device 9. So, we'll turn on the top drive. Now device 8. And we will load a program that was written by Jim Butterfield long ago called Copy-All. And if we look at the top, yes indeed, there it is. So we will run Copy-All. So this disk comes out. This disk, which is a T-Bug disk called PT5, will go in. It is in device 8. We are going from device 8 to device 9. Do we want to new the disk? Well, yes, we do. This disk came out of a brand new box. Now, just to make sure I don't foul up, I'm just going to pull that disc out. So, I will put in T-Bug PT5, comma, T5. And it will set about formatting the disk. And if there's anything wrong, it will come back and tell us that it won't format. Now this disk is, I mean, there's a chance because it's 30-some years old, never been used, but you never know, you know. Excuse me, I have a cold. I've had a cold. I've not been recording lately because I've had a cold. I seem to have picked it up not long after the World of Commodore. Not immediately, but not long. But the World of Commodore show was, from all I have heard and all I saw, a success. It certainly was busy. I talked to lots of people, picked some things, tinkered away. I'm going to put that back in and close the door now. It's funny, these drives, these have the turn lever. Okay, where are we? I think we're almost finished. Okay, we're now reading the directory. I want them all. So I'm hoping it's going to copy them all. Hold down Y or N. Okay, it seems you've got them all. Anyway, these drives, this one in the top has the flip down turn thing. I like them better. This one has the pop down, but which I never really liked. But from what I've heard and what I've read and what I found, the actual drive mechanism here and this turn down that I like better, I think they're from New Tech maybe, their read-write head has more failures. And when a read-write head fails, it's just done. There's nothing to be done except replace the mechanism. And I don't just mean the little read-write head thing. When they're done, they're done. So on this disk, there's a bunch of things. There's something called disk speed timer. And I think I've looked at that before. And with that, you can see if your drive seems to be spinning at the closest to or around the right speed that it should be spinning. And really, if it's really, really close, don't mess with it. If it's way off, but that's another story. As well, there is something called finvaders.f. And from what I know of the T-Bug naming stuff, finvaders.f probably, well, I know it's Space Invaders, it should, as far as I know, the F stands for FAT40. It does not mean that it cannot run on other machines. With the 8032, I think what you need to do is load in the CBM 4032 thing that makes the screen think it's a 40 column machine. Anyway, there is nothing quick about copy all. There really isn't. So this is going to take a while. It is. So I think I'm going to let this sit, and we'll have a look at how this all turns out when it's all finished. Right now it is working on the second file on the disk. No, third file. So there's lots more to go. So no point in sitting here watching this go on and on and on for the moment. So stay tuned. Guess in a moment I'll be coming back and this will be all done. So we're still copying, but I thought I would tell one story that I heard about Chuck Peddle, etc. I don't know if it's true, but I heard, and that is that some Friday Jack Tramiel called him in and basically said, I want a disk drive for the 1541 and I want it by Monday. Off with you, or whatever he would say. And that is how the 1541 came to be. Given more time for refinements and other things, who knows? Maybe the 1541 would have been faster. But as there were, of course, the infamous jack attacks and other things that went on, when given a specific assignment and a specific set of well, not specifications, well, I guess the specification is I want a disk drive for the for the 64 and I want it Monday. That's all the specifications. I suspect, given more time, it would have been faster, could have been faster. But anyway, I heard that happened. Someone else may have another version of the story. I'm not sure. But anyway, I heard that. So, and right now, while this is copying, I'm doing my best not to cough. And it's coming along. This copy process is not fast. On a 4040 dual drive, and oh, I wish they'd come out with a dual drive for the 64. I wish, but it would have been expensive. Or at least they would have charged a lot. MSD came out with a dual drive for the 64, the MSD2. I don't remember what year, but it was good. I like that. Oh, you could do the backup command, and what made it even better, so much better, was it had the IEEE interface and the serial interface. So what am I doing now? I'm tapping my phone. Why am I tapping my phone? Well, in this new world of things and games, this game called Roblox, it has various games. Somehow or another they think it's good that you sit for a long time and tap things to get things. Anyway, we're now up to, maybe the 5th or 6th thing on this disc. So, I think again, I'll take a break because there's not much exciting going on here. And we'll be back. Oh, look. Penny has come to watch the disk drives. Hi, Penny. Actually, you know, in the old days, I didn't really have cats, but I heard people tell story of their cats very much liking to curl up on the top of a 1541. Right, Penny? Penny? Hi. Yes. Oh, yes. Big stretch. Big yawn. Anyway, yeah, I don't think cat hair was probably a great thing for the drives, but the 1541s, they got warm. They did. They did indeed. So, the 1541 wasn't fast, but generally they were pretty reliable. Anyway, Penny, you keep watching. You let me know if anything... Yes, Penny. You let me know if anything goes wrong. Thank you for coming, Penny. 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 Hi, Penny. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Alright, we'll continue copying. Hello. I'm not sure how many minutes it's been, but we're still copying. I suspect we might be up to 15 or 20. I don't know. And it's now on... Well, it's more than halfway done. So, yes, the 1541 is not fast. But generally it is reliable. It is. So to recap what we did, we have one Commodore 64 with a power supply and a video cable connected to a 1701 monitor. We also have one serial cable that goes to one 1541, and then daisy-chained on the back of it, we have another serial cable. And these are the Commodore serial cables with a DIN plug with 6 pins in them. There are different kinds of serial cables in the world. Anyway, these are the Commodore serial cables. And we took out the 1541 test demo disc. We loaded in, there's a little program called, as I look at the thing, why can't I, oh, it's not on there. Device change, address device change, something like that. Because when you first turn on a 1541, or two of them, unless you have done an internal change, which would of course void the warranty, they are device 8. So you load that program in, and with only one of them turned on, you run it. And you change it from device 8 to device 9. Then you turn the other drive back on. Now you have device 8 and device 9, which is what copy all needs. Now you could make it device 10, you could make it device 11. As long as you tell copy all what you've done, it's quite happy. And if you did temporarily want to have a whole bunch of drives hooked up, like 4 of them, you could switch 3 of them to other devices and have 8, 9, 10, 11. Although I don't know that there's anything, I don't think there's any copy program that sort of works like that, where it makes 3 copies at once. But here's one thing. I wonder. I must try this sometime. If I were to connect 4 1541s and then change the device number of 3 of them to 9, could I copy 3 disks at once from 8 to 9? Could I? It would mean that if I was going to format the disks, I'd probably have to format them all. I'd have to check on that. I've never tried that. That would be intriguing. It would. So we're now up to a program called True Merge Plus .z. The .z, back in my memory of the debug world, meant that it should run, I believe, on pretty much any machine, depending on memory, etc., etc., etc. Because see, when the PET first came out, it was easy. There was just the PET. 4K, 8K. So there were perhaps limitations, depending. But then came out other models with different size screens, 80-column screens, big keyboards, etc. And then, of course, the Fat 40, which was the big screen. There was only 40 columns. Yes. So that meant that some programs were meant for different models of the PET. Say, But I think .z was meant to be sort of the universal thing, I think. Anyway, it's been a while. It has. Oh, by the way, little by little, as I go around the internet, mostly Facebook, I do grab more interesting sort of backdrop things. This came from one of the Commodore Facebook groups, pages, something, and hello, Penny, and I should remember what it was, but I don't at this moment, but I've always liked that one, as well as the others that come up behind me here. Penny! Excuse me. So, we are still a ways away from being done. I will continue to tap. Maybe Penny will come back and say hello. By the way, one of the things I will do when I get this done is I'll probably put some other things on this disc. I'm mailing it away soon, but I'll probably put some other things on there that might be handy to the person it is going to, perhaps. If I was really ambitious, well, I might be. I might notch the disc and put things on the other side as well. I might. I'll think about that. Somewhere I have disc notchers. And if you don't know what a disc notcher is, and this opens a whole ball of worms, can of worms, ball of wax, whatever, anyway, about whether it is acceptable to double-side discs. And I say it is. But anyway, you could use scissors, you could use hole punches and things where you have to be very careful. But the disc notchers were made specifically to notch discs. They were the perfect size, they were the perfect everything. You could put the disc right in to the corner, and you knew that if you had it in there securely and you went chunk, it would pop a beautiful hole, not a hole, a half hole, a square, a rectangle, whatever, out of the other side of the disc to make it usable. This company said, of course, we cannot certify that both sides will work, which was just their way of saying, we don't want you to use them that way because then you'll only buy half as many discs. And some people would say, oh, well, if the disc is spinning in the other direction, went the other way, there could be damage done. It's all crap. Crap. Oh, the other thing they would say, oh, yes, only one side is certified, single-sided. Only one side. But yet the same discs that we used were the ones that the Apple used, and our discs, the head is on the bottom, and I believe with the early Apples, the head was on the top. So even though only one side is certified, the same disc would work on both machines using the different sides. So anyway, if I am ambitious, and I might be, I might take scissors, because I don't know where my notcher is, and notch these discs and put some more things on before I mail them away. Maybe. We are now almost to the end. Funny, you could, I kind of wish this flashed the lights more, it would put on a better show, but it doesn't. But you can kind of hear when it's going from one file to the next, when the head sort of moves significantly. Because I suspect what it's doing is when it gets to the next file, it's going to the directory and adding in whatever information, and then it goes off and copies the file. Always updating the block allocation map, otherwise known as the BAM, which links all the little tracks and sectors together so that when you go to load something, it knows how to find it. I think, oh yes, we're on to the third last file on this disk. I don't even know how full this disk is. One of the unfortunate things about BASIC 2 is I really can't look at the directory without wiping out the program. wiping out the copy all program, because there's just no way to do it. Unless, of course, you use the DOS wedge, which I never used. Never, ever, 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 ever. Didn't like it. Well, I suppose that might be handy for this, but oh well. So what I will do when this is done is I will check the directory and see that everything seems to be working and happy, and how much space there is. And then I suspect what I will do is copy the other disk that I need to copy so that both of them are done and I know that they're happy, and then maybe I'll add more things to them so the people on the other end, when they open it up, they'll have what they want, but they'll have some other things too. So I'm continuing to tap on this iPhone in the game called Roblox, which from what I understand is bunches of games. Bunches of them. Bunches and bunches and bunches. It is. And I don't understand why they like this whole thing of, well, you stand there and swing your sword or your whatever it is in some area, and then you get these coins or these whatever things, which lets you do things. But it takes an awful long time. But for for those of you who are parents, you of course understand that, however perhaps silly it appears, and you know, a waste of time, etc. If you had a small boy who was interested in all this, you would probably do the same. So we are now so close to being done. And everything seems to be going well. The power lights, of course, are the green lights. The drive activity lights are the red ones. Oh, the other thing I liked about the drives with the flip turn doors is that the LED was rectangular. I don't know, I just like that better. Makes no sense. But that's just the way it is. The power lights were, on these models, I think always round. And the round ones were, oh, okay, we're on to the second last file. The activity lights on the pop-down doors were always round. I like the square ones. Actually, my favorite drives were the 4040 or the 8050 or whatever. And they had round things. They also had the error light was a dual LED, where it could be red or green, and you always hoped it was only green. But I liked when doing copy all on them. I think, no, maybe not copy. No, when you did the copy command, like copy D0 to D1, which is not the same as backup. I like the way the lights would go on and off, on and off, on and off, bouncing. Okay, I think we may be down to, no, we're not. We're not down to the last file yet. We are not, but soon. And then we can check and make sure that it worked. Now, just because I will wipe out copy all by loading in the directory, it does not mean that the drives need to be changed again. Actually, I think the only way the drive's device number needs to be changed again would be if I turn the drive off and on. This would be device 9, this would be device 8. It may also reset if I were to turn the computer on and off, I don't remember. If you're doing a bunch of this, or you have more than one drive, it really is best to either install a switch, which would of course void the warranty, or just cut the trace inside. And I know that sounds scary, but it's not that scary, because there are a couple of places side by side where there's basically a circle with a small line through the middle, so two half circles with a tiny line through the middle. And to change the device number, oh, we are done. Do we have another input disk ready? Now, I could say yes, but I'm not going to. I'm going to say, oh, and then I'm going to look at device 9. Hello, Penny. Hi, Penny. Now let's see. Now we got some space. But I think for the moment, I'm going to take this out. I'm going to take this out. I'm going to set them carefully together with each other so that I know that that is done. And I'm going to get... Hi, Penny. I'm going to get the other disc that I need to copy out. Oh no, I'm doing device 9. And I'm going to load copy all. All I have to do is put in comma 9 and it will be dandy. Alright, so the test demo just comes up. By the way, looking at that disc, you know, I was talking about notching discs and things. Well, that has the Write Protect sticker over. You can use other things besides, you know, what they sent with them, because a lot of them have worn out. But that prevents the disc from being written to, which can be handy when copying things in case you accidentally foul up. So, we are going to put, oops, what is this? Oh, look, in with this disc. Ah, oh dear. In with this disc are some labels, probably from the box, and they're a little bit stuck. And there's also some Write Protect stickers. And we put in more things. So we're going to go from 8, Unit 8, drive 0, Unit 9, drive 0. Do we want to output the output disk? Yes. And we will put tpug O-T-K, comma, comma, T-K. And now, it will format. It will. And then we can copy ever so slowly. This is another thing I found on Facebook. I don't remember which group it was. It was a Commodore group, to be sure. And I liked it. I have found, if I have stuff that's too bright up here, that then I end up in the dark. So this is an experiment to see how these ones work. Unfortunately, I found, from first looking at it, Chuck Peddle made me go into the dark. But what I ended up doing, because you know you can press on the iPad to pick kind of, I think, where it focuses, I pointed or touched the screen on a dark spot, which would have been the front of the drives, and then it lit up some. But the next time it comes back up, it's probably going to put me in the dark. So I will look at this video and see how these worked out. But I'm hoping they worked out right. I like this logo. I like the whole thing of it all. It does have, you know, some white stuff. That's another thing I found, which is kind of, I wish the iPad wouldn't sometimes try and be so smart. Okay, pattern. Yes. We want to copy everything. Yes, this looks like it has a couple of different versions of Space Invaders. And then some other things, which I'm not sure what they are. Basic point for F40. Oh, okay. So I think what's happening now, of course, things are copying. You know what I don't like? I've got these pop-ups that are coming up on my computer, and I don't know why. Oh dear, and that shut off. Alright, we'll get rid of the pop-up. And undoubtedly that has sent me into the dark, which bothers me. And now I should be back in the light. Anyway, as I was saying, I wish the iPad sometimes wasn't so smart. Anyway, well, we're back to copying. How exciting is that? And right now it's copying something called Invaders 4.0, which may in fact be meant for the FAT40. Maybe. The machines were all the same. Mostly. But definitely, if a program such as Space Invaders is written for 40 columns and you're loaded into an 80 column machine, it just, unless it's got something in there to detect and to tweak itself, it's not going to be right. So, be aware. Anyway, I'm going to keep tapping. I'm going to find some cough stuff and let this carry on with these very reliable but slow disk drives. I've often wondered if Copy All will work faster with a fast load cartridge installed. I have no clue. Maybe that's another thing I can try sometime. Maybe around the same time I hook up more 2 more disk drives and try and copy disks. Maybe, possibly. Anyway, stay tuned. Hello, we're continuing to copy. There does seem to have been a read error. That is disturbing. It is. But not unexpected, as these disks are indeed old. So I'll just look through and see if I think I have another copy of that disk, and the answer is pretty much I don't think I do. But I will look. Hello, Penny. There is Penny. Penny, I don't think there's anywhere. Hi, Penny, for you to come up right now because I have all these disks here. Alright. I don't think. Hello, Penny. How are you doing? Oh, Penny. Hang on. I'll put this box down. Penny. Come on, Penny. Where's Penny? Why don't you come on up and see me? Oh, wow, let's just go copies. Penny. Okay, Penny, just sit nice. I will pet you. Penny does not sometimes like to be held that much. Hello, Penny. Penny, we're copying disks. Yes, we are. Yes, we are, Penny. I know. Okay. Do you want me to rub your tummy? No, I think you want to go back to the chair. Okay. Well, Penny, we can move the chair in. Oh, it's okay. It's okay, Penny. Don't go away. There. There you go. Yes. One thing I neglected to realize is that also with the flip down door, you can't see the LED from over there. Sorry about that. One of the drives is making a bit of an extra wind. But I don't think anything has locked up or anything is going poorly. It's just a little extra wine. Oh, there we go. Yep, it's moving on. It's now copying a file called fix file. Imagine. Imagine. Hello, Penny. Do you have any stories to tell us today, Penny? 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 I know, yes. I'm sure most of you know, but Penny was a cat we rescued with her brother, Sheldon, some years ago. Actually, we were, oh, yes, look at that. Yes, it's a good thing to scratch on, isn't it? Actually, apparently there was a whole bunch of kittens. Something to do with a barn and a farm or something. I don't know. But there was some tragedy. Mother killed or parents killed or I don't know what, but anyway. At a very young age, Penny, don't bite the key there. No. At a very young age, Penny and Sheldon came to see us. Oh, there's that horrible thing. Oh. Oh, it went away. There has been trouble in Ontario in education. And it seems the high school teachers are going, oh, there's a cat here. Can you imagine? Ew. To stage another one-day walkout. Yuck. That's, what do you think of that, Penny? How are we doing here? Oh, we're still copying away. Yes, hello, Penny. Come on up here. Come stay here. Penny, Penny. Penny, Penny, come on up here. Stretch up, that's a good girl. Well, yeah. Copying with two 1541s reminds me, I suppose, of maybe what rendering things on the Amiga used to be in the early days, where it literally was, you get the whole thing all set up and ready to go, and you just leave it and hope that it worked out. Hours and hours and hours. Penny, you're leaving cat hair around here. Where'd you get the cat hair from? Maybe we need to get your brush out. I don't have it handy. No, don't go in that box, Penny. So, I am thinking that I will copy some more things onto these discs, just because I can. But it will take a while. It will. Right, Penny? Penny's still here. So, there's another thing I must do. I must start looking through some pet keys. Because I have to send some away. I do. And see, not all the, just as the various variations of the machines were, not all the pets were the same with the keyboard. So I've had some people looking for some keys, but one of them for sure, when I looked at it, I double checked and finally got an answer back. And the shift keys he needs are the short ones, and the return key is the long one. But that's not what he picked out online, and I've got to figure out how to make sure the listings are more more detailed somehow. But anyway, so I have to go through pet keys and find the correct keys, because I'm sure I have them, and I can always probably take them off another machine if I have to. But I really don't like shipping things and having them be the wrong things. That's no good for anybody. Right, Penny? Right, Penny. Yes, indeed. So I'm going to let this keep copying. And I'm going to ponder what to do about the read error. And I'm going to maybe look for some pet keys in the midst of that. Perhaps. So, I know this is a long video, but just think, compared to a tape drive, this is really hauling along. Yeah. Actually, you know, the original PET, and I guess most subsequent PETs, you could connect two tape drives. The original PET, of course, had the tape drive on the keyboard, and it also had a second cassette port out the back. And then they kept that. So you could, in fact, do tape copies on two tape drives, one machine. Some way there's a program for this, I think. I mean, another way of doing it, not that anything was ever fast, is you load in on one, and then you save to the other. That, compared to this process, was indeed painfully slow. Painfully, awfully terrible. Anyway, I'm going to look for some pet keys and make sure I know what it is that I need, and which, see, some of the shift keys were about 3 keys wide, and some of them were about 2 keys wide. Same with the return key, just depended on which model, and I'm not even sure which model is which. I just know if you send the big ones for the small ones, or the small ones for the big ones, it won't work. I suppose the small ones might fit, but they wouldn't look right. And the whole thing, of course, is to get your machine back to original as much as you can. Alright, the copying continues. Hello. We're still copying. I have decided, because I found some scissors, that I will be daring. will indeed. So I have here a blank, well, it was a blank disc. It has what I need to send away. And I have here the disc that I used to copy. Both of them have notches on the left side. But what I need is a notch on the right side. And the best way I know to do this, well, the best way I know is to use a disc notcher, but I can't find that. So if I line these two discs up just perfectly so, and apply gentle pressure with the scissors, I should have marked exactly where it is that I need. To be very careful. See, the danger of this is, of course, if I cut too far, or actually cut the disc, and that would not be good. So, oh, the copy is finished. So what I do is I make a little notch, and then I bend this out of the way ever so gently, and then I go back with the scissors. At least I try to go back with the scissors. Snip it off. And that went okay. But it didn't really snip off as much as I would like, or as much as I think is necessary to effectively notch this. I have, see, it's such a small, I don't even know if it's half an inch, oh my, or what would that be in metric? But anyway, I will try again with the end of the scissors to get right on there. Well, sort of. I thought I had nail clippers around here. Well, I suppose right now if I just fold them out of the way, it should be okay. Anyway, this disc alright, what have I done? Okay, those are the two discs, the copy and the original. Now this one had a read error, so I'm going to try it again. Just that file, and chances are it's not going to work, and chances are, because it might have already tried, it might say file exists. So anyway, I put it, the name of the program was Night Driver, so I put in Night asterisk as the match or the pattern, and then I have told it to copy. At least I think I have. It is still, I think, going through the directory, and now it is going to try. And I see already that it's having difficulty. I'm going to massage the drive. No. It did not. Well, I'll try one more time. After tickling the drive to see if it makes any difference. I'm suspecting it will make no difference. None at all. Because read errors are like that. Excuse me. I'm going to read or now. I must be careful. I'm going to say no. I do not have another disc drive. Now, I'm going to swap these. And this will make no difference, but I must try. So this time I'm going to go from 9-0 to 8-0. I do not want to view the output disk. And when it comes up, I'll put in night. And it still won't work. Well, I just had to try. So soon this will start to flash. Oh, did I say yes? Okay, I think it might have gone through the directory. Now this will start to flash. And the head will bang. Oh. Well, it didn't. But is it copying? Maybe it is. Even with the extra cat hair around the drive. It is certainly, the heads are traveling here and there. This is very surprising that this actually might be working. We'll see. As I found these labels, and they're probably okay. Perhaps I will use one. Oh, disc full. Oh dear. Alright, I do not believe that the disc is full. I do not. I do not believe it. I'm just looking to see what size the original file is. I think in the early versions of this copy-out program, perhaps there was an error of sorts, in that maybe when I tried to copy things and they didn't copy, somehow it remembered something, or something didn't get, I don't know, it just, anyway, it seems to be just fine. Both discs had 2 blocks free, and both have 2 blocks free. this one is not that one. This one is the one I copied before. It is. And now it is properly marked. And this one is the second one. And I will properly mark it. There's no point in trying to copy anything else onto the front side or the regular side of this disc, because it is full, except for 2 blocks, and that's not worth the trouble. Now, interestingly enough, I think what I might do, and this is going to take a while, so I'm not going to sit and watch it either, is I will copy all again. And I will take OTK and put it in 9, and I will turn this PT5 over, if it will go in. See, the little flaps are kind of in the way. Let's see. Okay. So we're going to go from 9, 0 to 8, 0. Yes. We're going to new this disk. We're going to call it T-Funk. Oh, DK, comma, DK. Now, this will tell us right quick. Oh, well, that seemed to go well. That will tell us right quick if the little notching I have done has been accepted by the disk drive. Because had it not, it would not have copied, or it would have said write protect on or some such error. But it does seem to be copying. It does seem, oh sorry, it is formatting. So I know this is a very full disk, so once again, I'm not going to sit here. I mean, I've got stories to tell. But once this formats, I'm going to tell it to copy everything, and then I'm going to go away. And we will continue this later. What I will do, though, if this copies perfectly, I think I will notch the back of the disk that I copied it off of, OTK, and try and copy it onto that and see if I can get a better copy of the whole disk. Okay, so we are reading the directory. The pattern we will do is all of them. I will press the Y key. Yeah, it looks like right at the beginning there are a bunch of games that say Basic 4.0 F40. That to me does say come in for the FAT 40. Does that mean they won't run on something else? No. Probably the best other choice is an 8032 that the program to make it think it's a 4032 has been run on. There were different versions of that. I'm not sure what the differences were. Anyway, things are copying again. So, I will leave them to copy. We do not need to be here. Maybe I'll move this off of the... Oh, yeah, that's getting kind of warm. It may not be the wisest thing to have the two drives on top of each other working so much. Perhaps I will push back a bit and then pull this one a little bit forward to let the air flow a little more. You know, there was a company that made fans specifically for the 1541. And boy, they made out like a band. I mean, the thing, it was specially fit right over. The fan was over here, and it had the kind of where it would blow the air. But I think they charged almost $100 for it. And of course, because 1541s got hot, some people would get them. They would. Alright, so we are copying. I suspect later on, at some point, I will do more copying. I shall. And I gotta look for those pet keys. But for the moment, that's enough of that for now. So, thanks for coming. This will continue. It is perhaps an endless video. I'm not sure. Excuse me. If it lasts as long as this cold has, it's going to be a while. Alright. We'll continue. We shall. Hello. Thanks for coming. So, to continue on our story of two disk drives, device 8 and device 9 using Copy-All, everything worked out well in that the disks that needed to be copied, and it will soon be in the mail, have been copied. But there's always more excitement, and that will be another episode to sort out. In the midst of that, when I was trying to copy extra things, this 1541 stopped where everything was sitting there looking like it was working, but it wasn't. And now this one, the bottom one, with the push, flip out little door, it will not respond to commands. This is fine. So, what does that mean? Well, it means we got to dig into this 1541. I'm not doing that today. I've been working on 64s, and I've been working on things that have come up little by little that I got to get done. For example, I've had a heck of a time with some pet keys and making sure that they're going to be the right pet keys. And very soon, within a few minutes, that'll be another episode. I'm going to take a bunch of these pet keys, and I have a little bag of pet keys, and do the wash routine. In other words, hot water as hot as the tap will provide, and soap, dish soap, and then shake, 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 and then let them soak. That is another episode. Anyway, I wanted, and I keep on saying, I'm going to see how long copy all takes to do a whole disc. Sounds like a beautiful thing, but anyway, I thought I was doing that when this disk drive crapped out. But it didn't do it in a nasty way, it just froze up, I guess, and now it just doesn't respond. But I was hoping to start to go through after the 64s, 1541s. So this one I will have to mark as unresponsive. And see, and chances are it's nothing terrible. Chances are. It's not the read-write head that has died or anything like that. It's just one of the chips got tired, and maybe, and I did, I think if you remember, I moved this forward to let air flow better and all that. Maybe when I do some more of this, I need to do better at having better airflow. As Bill Hurd says, heat is the enemy. And 1541s get hot. And I suppose two of them stacked on top of each other, I don't think they get twice as hot. But actually it's funny because the one that felt hotter was the top one. And it's fine. Anyway. Thanks for hanging around for this marathon of well, not many days, but many minutes. I don't know how long this video will be. But I am pleased to say that these two discs will soon be in the mail. I was able to copy some extra things on the back of one of them, not on the other. And you know, I'm not saying I won't, because you know what, I have other 1541s. There's still, no, there's no disc in there. I have other 1541s that I can use. I do. Anyway, enough of disc copying for this moment. I am going to gather myself and get these keys soaking. Because some of them, I mean, everything gets dirty after 30, 40 years. Some of them, I think, look like maybe they, the tops of them may have been owned by perhaps somebody who smoked. And that stuff, I don't know if I'll get it off. Anyway, I'll try. Anyway, once again, thank you for being here. Thank you for coming. Stay tuned. More exciting episodes to follow.